What's up, guys? I'm going to be going over one of the most controversial topics in all of the NBA, Mamba versus Michael, Kobe Bryant versus Michael Jordan. And this is going to be a very controversial topic, so please no hate on this one. So yeah, let's get into this one. I'm going to start with Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant was born on August 23rd, 1978, and his prime career averages were 35 points, 4 steals, 5 assists, and 6 rebounds. He was drafted in the 96 stacked draft class, and that just makes him even more legendary. He has 5 championships, 1 MVP, and all-around dominant career. The reason I think Kobe Bryant really puts up a fight to this is he's probably the greatest offensive player we've ever seen on the board. He's not tall like Wilt Chamberlain. He's not big like Shaq. He's a 6'6", lengthy dude who can just all around get the ball. His post moves are insane. He can dunk over you, and he was only 18 when he got drafted. So that just tells you a little bit about him. He made a very big impact in the 2001 season when Shaq and him won a ring. If they wouldn't have had Kobe Bryant, they don't have a ring. Because Shaq, let's be honest here, all those lobs, a lot of them came from Kobe. Also, the more years that Kobe came into his prime, the more efficient he got. So by the end of Kobe's career, he was a Defensive Player of the Year. So if you mixed Kobe with his end of the year, end of career play style, he was a defensive player. But if you look in his prime, he was an offensive juggernaut. Kind of like how a lot of NBA players are. They start as a slasher and they end being a shooter or a defensive just juggernaut. But the thing that I think made Kobe Bryant so special is that he could do everything. He added a three-pointer to his game, which basically made a more modernized Jordan. And that's why I think he was so good, is because he could shoot even in his prime. With Jordan, he could shoot the mid-range ball, but it wasn't that big of his game. With Kobe Bryant, more post fades, more dunks. I'm not saying that Jordan didn't post fade a lot and he didn't use the mid-range. I'm just saying he didn't implant it into his game like Kobe Bryant did. So basically, Kobe Bryant really had kind of just something over Jordan, just because he could shoot the three, he could dunk, he could do all these things. And Jordan could do all those things. He just didn't have that shooting. And in this era of time, shooting is one of the most important things. If you don't have a consistent three-point shot, you're not doing anything, because that's all it is. It's an ISO league where you need to shoot, which I personally think is boring, but that's the league itself. So when you do that, I feel like when you basically implant that into your more modern game and basically make it a more game that fits this style of play, you're going to be more dominant. And that's exactly what Kobe Bryant was. He scored 81 points, and throughout his prime years in 2006, specifically 2006 when he dropped 81, he was dropping 40, 60, 50 a night on average. A bad game was like 30 points. He was really good, and he should have won an MVP that year, but it was stolen by the other MVPs. Now let's get into Jordan. Jordan was a 5-time champ, 6-time champion, 5-time MVP, and you can argue that he's the greatest player of all time. The reason that I think Jordan really puts up a good fight too is he was an offensive juggernaut, but a defensive insanity. My dude was getting steals, blocks. He was insane. The transition defense was beautiful. He really just implanted that into his game, and that's why I think he really made that spot in that Bulls team. If that Bulls team doesn't have Michael Jordan, they don't have championships, they don't have Dennis Rodman, they don't have any of that. So I feel like Michael Jordan, right off the jump, he had all-star defense. See, what happens if you mix the end of Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant's career with their prime, you have an all-defensive player who can shoot. But when you have Jordan, you have a shooter who's prime and who can dunk. So when you mix the end, it's really the perfect player, but we're talking about their primes. Michael Jordan was really just insane. He could shoot the ball, he could dunk it, but he could also get steals. The thing that I feel like he had over Kobe Bryant is his defense. That all-star defensive player year of the defense just really made him just unique from all the other type of slashers. He formed the slasher, and Kobe Bryant just formed it again. But you got to remember, when people say Kobe Bryant made it better, you're forgetting that Michael Jordan formed Kobe Bryant. If there's no Michael Jordan, there's no Kobe Bryant gameplay. I'm not saying that takes away from Kobe Bryant. I'm just saying that Kobe Bryant really had an edge to seeing Michael Jordan play because that was his play style. Michael Jordan also had athletic prowess of 6'6", 220 pounds, and he was insane, man. He was one of the most defined and players with muscle in the whole league. He really could get it out. And, even though he didn't have as many assists or rebounds, he still was dropping 60, 30, whatever. He was dropping above 30 about every night in his prime. And that's insane for a player, but you still got to look at Kobe like that. He was dropping 60, 81, 40 a night. Like, this dude was really going insane. Well, when he was doing this, you got to remember, he was getting this play style all from Jordan besides the three-point game. Sure, Jordan scored three-pointers in the half, but he's also the one player who went into the three-point competition and had the lowest score of all time. So we're remembering that Jordan, the thing that Kobe Bryant had over him on offense was his shooting. He could really light it up on there. But the thing that Michael Jordan had on Kobe Bryant was his defense. The defense was insane. So if you're picking, you want an all-around great player, right? Well, it depends on what you want. Do you want an offensive juggernaut who can lead the whole offense? Or do you want an all-around great player who can somewhat lead basically the whole offense and lead the whole defense? When it comes to me, in my preference, I would probably want an all-around player like Jordan. But you're forgetting this year, this type of play style in our league revolves around offense. The offensive things. They basically value offense. They basically are biased to offense. It's weird, but that's how the league has changed into. So if I was going to play in this league, I would need to have Kobe Bryant. But also, I'm going to need to defend with some of the best players like James Harden and stuff like that. And you don't get too many good defenders. So in my preference, I feel like you can't really take any of them because all of them are great. Because there's no real thing that stopping them from being good, because they're both the same player, but they're also different at the same time. They both have the same game style, but they're both different. See, Jordan was a player who was a slasher, go to the rim, and then try to shoot the mid-range. Kobe, he can just pull up for a fadeaway and hit it. They were so different, but so similar. It's so confusing to me, but it's just it's a very weird conversation. See, the thing that makes Jordan just so special and dynamic is the fact that he was an icon in the 90s and 80s. He was insane. You see the Jordan logo everywhere. But now, since Kobe Bryant died, Kobe Bryant's being more iconic and everybody's thinking about him more. A little bit ago, I thought Michael Jordan was hands down the best player. But honestly, the more that Kobe Bryant has gotten this attention from having that tragic plane crash, the more that I look at him in a different way as being one of the best offensive players ever. But also, I feel like Michael Jordan is an all-around better player. So if I was going to go with anybody, it would be Michael Jordan. Leave your comments down below. Make sure to hit the like. Subscribe if you like the content. You can always unsubscribe. It's free. And yeah, everybody have a good day. Peace.